Okay, so let's say you're working on a homework question and you get stuck. And so for this problem, you have a couple of buttons on the side to help me solve this, and that will take you step by step how to work the problem out. You also have the textbook that you can read and find an example similar to yours that looks like this. The other option is look at the problem number up here. It's 2.525. So if I log out of this for just a second and kind of just refresh to see what the problem looks like. It's f of negative x minus 3. It's got this graph, and then they want me to shift it and try to see what graph it's looking like. All right, so if I go into Multimedia Library, and it'll pop up to Chapter 2, Section 5, 2.5, and then click on Multimedia Textbook. I can pull up 2.5, the textbook. And I want this textbook versus the one that the button was associated with in that question. This one's multimedia, so I have a few more options with this than I do the other textbook. It's the same book, but as you'll see here, what I'm going to do is scroll through to the back of this, or the end of this section, to the homework. Okay, and you could, again, read the book and find some examples that are pretty good along the way. But if I get to 2.5, I can see here's question number 25. Okay, and for that section, there's a icon here for problems 17 through 31. If I click on it, it will come up here in a moment. All right, and I can get exercise 25. That was the one that corresponded to the question I had. And you can see it's a very similar graph and it's a similar function. And again, I can either use to help me solve this, or in this option I have the view an example. And if I click on view an example, it will run a similar question and explain it all the way through. And that may be helpful for you to use in solving your question for the MyMathLab. Okay, so again, to find this, you need to go into the multimedia textbook and go ahead and find that. There's other options in the multimedia library, but the ebook or the multimedia textbook is probably one of the better things to use.